First point, scapegoated children of narcissistic parents often grow up groomed to sacrifice themselves for those who have predatory natures, such as cluster B personalities and those who demonstrate abusive behaviors. Next point, very often it takes a change in thought and or behavior patterns in order for those who have been scapegoated by narcissistic family members to choose to thrive forward past narcissistic abuse. So most of the time, it's going to take a change in thought, not just in behavior, in order for us to continue to thrive forward. Now, I've mentioned this in other videos, that it's going to take it to be a lifestyle. What am I talking about? Once a person goes no contact, if he or she chooses to, they're going to make it a part of their lifestyle to maintain thriving forward. That means continuing to be no contact. It's a part of a lifestyle. Now, this may sound tedious to some people. It may even sound overwhelming, but taken from a person who has gone no contact from certain individuals in my family, not everyone. Okay, now this is something that I know personally is a game changer. So once you make that decision to go no contact, you're going to have to maintain focusing on your own life, which means this is going to be a lifestyle. It's not going to be so overwhelming after a little while. At first it may be, but after you get the hang of it, after you start putting one foot in front of the other and continuing to thrive forward, you will be well on your way of making this a lifestyle, and it won't feel so tedious. Okay, next point. Throughout years of narcissistic abuse, those who have experienced it firsthand since his or her childhood have become very knowledgeable of various diabolical shenanigans pulled by the narcissist within their dysfunctional family. Point. Once adult children of narcissistic parents choose to take positive action in order to reclaim his or her personal power, the game is then changed in their favor. It is at this time that some individuals will choose to go no contact, leaving their narcissistic parents behind for good. Now, as I mentioned before, 9 times out of 10 chances, once a person chooses to go no contact, this will become a part of his or her lifestyle. Again, this may sound overwhelming, but it is not once you start to place one foot in front of the other. Okay, so at first one may go through anxiety, or actually their anxiety may increase. This is very common. This is natural, because when you are shifting the gears, that means there's a change that's happening. Therefore, this may cause a little bit of a stress to start to form or increase. You're already probably up under a lot of emotional stress by being in a dysfunctional relationship with the narcissist. Once you change that, it is very natural for stress levels to go up a little bit, meaning the anxiety levels may also go up. So one may start to doubt that they made the right decision to go no contact. Take it from a person who's done this. This is natural. Don't let this have you go back into a narcissistic abusive situation. Okay, because it's probably going to end up being worse than better if you reconnect to dysfunctional families who have a narcissist in the family. Okay, it's not going to be better. It may end up being worse. Now, I'm not sharing this with you all to discourage you from going no contact if this is something you are contemplating. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I have gone through this. Okay, so it's not going to be very easy at first, but as I stated, as you place one foot in front of the other, you will get the hang of it, you will get the gist of it, and it will become more natural to you to reclaim your personal power. Meaning, going no contact has become a part of your lifestyle that's going to feel very right and natural to you. Next point. However, the shenanigans, narcissistic supply tactics, and diabolical acts of narcissistic parents in order to maintain their false self-image may continue, if not escalate. After going no contact, it is very common for narcissistic parents to select other family members, such as the golden child, to scapegoat in place of the original scapegoated family member. Okay, this is another thing that's very common. If you should decide to go no contact, do not be surprised that another family member who has been selected as the golden child to then become the scapegoat. Okay, after you have gone no contact. Do not be shocked by that. Some people, I've heard the testimonies, some people are shocked by this. But then there are some people who are not. Okay, so this is something that is going to probably happen. When you think about it, every dysfunctional family who has a narcissistic parent or a person who has a cluster B personality, okay, who's running the family or who's the head of the family, they need to have a scapegoat in order for their false self-image to survive. Just think about that. So after you go no contact, what do you think is going to happen? One of the things that's going to happen is that there needs to be a scapegoat who's going to take your place. Okay, so this may sound a little bit unfair to some of you. Some of you may be thinking and feeling, well, okay, how sad? Right, because you've gone through this. You've gone through it. You've experienced it. And as I stated before, I know something about going no contact and how that feels. All right, so don't be so surprised that some narcissistic parents will increase their diabolical acts. They will increase the shenanigans. They will increase the crazy making. Don't be surprised after you go no contact that this will happen. Remember, they have a false self-image to maintain. In order to do that, they have to have someone who will provide them the narcissistic supply. And within a dysfunctional family, it is usually the scapegoated family member. Okay, so don't be so surprised after going no contact that things get a little bit crazier for a while. Right? But I want to encourage you to maintain focus and thriving forward when this happens. Next point. There are some family members who begin to wake up and realize the horrors of being scapegoated by his or her narcissistic parents, especially after years of being showered with their own narcissistic supply, while being encouraged to scapegoat the original scapegoated family member. Okay, this is another thing that's very horrible in my opinion, yet is quite common. Family member who is often the golden child, okay? They wake up a little bit, just a little bit. Sometimes it takes a long period of time, but they will usually, not all the time, but they will usually wake up and find out what the other family member who has been scapegoated for a long period of time has been going through, because now they're on the scapegoated hot seat. So they get a taste of what that experience was for you, if you were the one who was scapegoated in your family. All right, they get a little taste of that. This does not necessarily mean they will then become all chummy with you and reach out to you with a lot of love. Okay, I just want to make that clear. This does not mean that's going to happen. It means that even if they wake up and realize what you have gone through, this does not mean he or she is going to change. They may continue to be the golden child. The only thing is, what's different is that now they're scapegoated as well. Okay, there's information out there about this. Some who have been golden children for a long period of time and they have enjoyed that, okay, because they joined in the mob of having you be the scapegoated family member. Okay, they joined in. So now they're on the scapegoated hot seat and they get to find out what that feels like. I want to make this very clear. This does not mean they're going to hang up their golden child hat. Doesn't mean that. More than likely, they may dig in even more. They may become more relentless as the golden child. Okay? Just to retaliate against now being the scapegoated family member. More than likely, they're going to resent this. Now, as I stated, this does not mean they're going to open up and be all lovey-dovey with you. If anything, they may become more resentful because you have gone no contact. Do not let this discourage you from reclaiming your personal power. Okay, so going no contact is not easy. The last thing you're going to need is somebody telling you to come back into a dysfunctional family. But this is often what happens because the flying monkeys come out the woodwork. The enablers, they start coming up to you and bringing the narcissistic family member or the narcissistic parents into the conversation, trying to get you to become more guilty or feel more guilty about going no contact. I want to encourage, especially my stars once again, to stay focused on thriving forward. It's not going to be that easy, but it will be well worth it if you stay the course. Let's move forward. The Shenanigan saga continues as long as narcissistic parents have a very strong sense of entitlement, cocktailed with a twist of self-righteousness that could even possibly knock an entire clergy out cold. Okay, let's think about this for a minute. The shenanigans usually do not stop. When a person goes no contact from a dysfunctional family with a narcissist, okay, think about it. Their false self-image must survive and thrive. Like one who has a predatory nature, such as the narcissist, they're going to immediately look around for a replacement. Either that, or they're going to try to bring you back in as the one who was scapegoated. They have to see the main focal point for the narcissist is their false self-image. So they're not going to hesitate to try to pull all types of shenanigans in order to maintain their false self-image. They're not going to hesitate. This is about survival, period. And as a hunter, as a predator, the narcissist, again, will stop at nothing. They will pull all types of shenanigans. They must survive. That false self-image must survive. They are addicted and obsessed with keeping that false self-image alive. They don't care about family. They don't care about that. It's all about the false self-image. So don't expect the shenanigans to stop just because you've gone no contact. Matter of fact, I want to encourage all of you who may be contemplating going no contact not to think about this so much. Try not to think about it so much. Listen to more music. Do more things that you enjoy. Shift your mind to something else more positive. Envision yourself going no contact and becoming wealthier, becoming healthier. Do whatever you have to do that's positive and constructive to keep your mind focused on going no contact. This is your life. This is about you maintaining your overall well-being, right? This is what this is about, or part of it anyway. See, this is the bottom line. When this happens, ask yourself, are you able to maintain being focused? So that way you can continue to thrive forward. Are you willing to do what it takes to thrive forward? Of course, something that is positive and constructive. Some people will not be happy about your thriving forward. I'm just going to forewarn you. However, take steps and try not to allow this to deter you or discourage you from thriving forward, especially if everything in you is screaming, go no contact, thrive forward, reclaim your personal power. It only means that you're being called to do something that is so natural, and that is to maintain your overall well-being as a human being on this planet. So try not to be discouraged just because you may be thinking that something will just go haywire after you've gone no contact. This is something that the narcissist wants you to do. He or she is hoping that you will feel so guilty that you will not take any radical action whatsoever. So don't be worried about the shenanigan saga continuing. All right, the next chapter, just make sure you're not in that chapter. Let's move forward. Long after the adult child of narcissistic parents goes no contact, the narcissistic family members, along with family members who are the narcissist enablers, may continue to lack sympathy and or empathy for him or her. As I stated before, don't expect other people in your family to open their arms up and support you and just see that you have gone through something that possibly has left you traumatized. Okay, it has been such a grievance to you. Don't expect certain family members to show sympathy or even empathy, because some of them may have cluster B personalities. Okay, this is something else that's very common that happens when a person contemplates going no contact from a dysfunctional family that has narcissistic parents. Very common that this happens. Other family members will conspire and they will join in on trying to get you to come back into the fold. Don't be shocked by that. Continue to thrive forward and stay focused on what you need to do in order to maintain your overall well-being. Okay, and of course I wish you the very best with that. Let's move forward. It is very common that the family of the scapegoated family member does not reach out in support of his or her efforts to thrive forward past narcissistic abuse. Many family members tend to remain in denial of the horrific after effects of narcissistic abuse within a dysfunctional family dynamic. Very common, very sad, but very, very true. All right? Now, this is something that